You check your bank account on a Tuesday morning. Your phone glows. The number is $8,400. You feel a flutter of relief. Not joy, just relief. That same Tuesday, 3 hours away, someone else opens their banking app to the exact same figure, $8,400. But for them, it's not a month's survival. It's this week's car insurance and a restaurant lunch. Same number, completely different life. Here's what nobody tells you. Money isn't a line graph. It's a staircase where every level has different rules, different physics, different versions of you inhabiting the same dollar amount. And those rules are invisible until you're already living them. So let's get specific about what financial power actually is and what it doesn't give you. The controlling metaphor. Think of financial power as a staircase. The same income on step 3 feels like scarcity. That same income on step 7 feels like abundance. You're the same person. The money is the same. The step you're standing on completely rewrites what's possible. I've watched this happen across every income bracket, and the pattern is always the same. You cross a threshold, and suddenly everything shifts. Not because you became different, because the rules of your world changed. Level 1, below the line. You make $24,000 a year. After taxes, you're at $1,600 a month. Here's how it breaks down. Rent is $900. Food is $200. Phone, internet, transportation. That's $1,550 total. You have $50 left. Sometimes you have nothing left. Some months you're negative. Here's the mechanism at this level. You're not building anything. You're bleeding. One car repair equals 1 month of emergency. One illness means you're calling your parents. One job loss means you have 3 weeks before the pressure becomes catastrophic. This isn't pessimism. This is arithmetic. Here's what this actually looks like. You're at the grocery store on a Thursday. Eggs are 99 cents or $2.19. That's $1.20. That's 4 minutes of your work. Work you'll never see. So you reach for the 99-cent eggs. Not because you prefer them. Every single day, you're running these calculations. Beans or ground beef. The long shower or the short shower. Save $2.50 on the bus or walk and save that money. And then your phone buzzes at 11 p.m. A notification. Your checking account just dropped below $100. You still have 4 days until payday. You don't sleep well that night. That's the actual texture of this level. Here's the reframe. At this level, financial power isn't about building. It's about not drowning. But wait, there's something else happening here that you don't know yet. You're forced to understand the actual mechanics of money. You have to. You can't ignore it. You know down to the dollar what everything costs. You know how to make $40 last a week. You see money as finite and fragile, which is, objectively, the most accurate view of money that exists. People at level 5 will spend their entire lives trying to rewire back to this clarity, usually unsuccessfully. You don't know that's valuable yet, but it is. Level 2, the cushion. You cross into $70,000 to $100,000 a year. You're at $5,000 a month after taxes. Rent is $1,100. Food is $300. Now you have $1,500 left over. You're no longer in tree-off. You're building. Here's the mechanism. Interest starts to work for you instead of against you. You have $500 left over every month. That's $6,000 a year. Put it in a savings account at 4%. That's $240 of free money next year, just for parking money somewhere. You're experiencing the first taste of what wealthy people know. Money can work while you sleep. The math is where it gets interesting. A typical person at this level saves $30,000 to $60,000 over 10 years. Put that in a brokerage account earning 10% a year. That $300,000 generates $30,000 a year from nothing but time. Here's the scene. You get a raise. $5,000 more a year. And you don't raise your lifestyle. You just keep living the same way. That extra $5,000 starts compounding. You're not thinking about it. It's just happening. And now something unexpected occurs. You start to feel visible. Other people ask you for money. Can you loan me $500? You can, but you have to think about whether you want to. This is the first level where no becomes possible. And with possible comes guilt. Here's the reframe. At this level, financial power is the first time compound interest becomes stronger than your effort. Level 3, the option. You cross $150,000 to $200,000 in annual income. Something structural changes. You're not rich, but you're powerful. Here's why. You've got options. Real options. You don't like your job? You can leave. You can take a pay cut and work somewhere else. You can't do that at level 1. A job loss at level 3 is uncomfortable. At level 1, it's existential. The math is where it becomes real. You're likely saving $40,000 to $80,000 a year. That's $400,000 to $800,000 over a decade. In a brokerage account earning 10%, that's approaching $1 million by year 15. You're not a millionaire yet, but you can see it. It's not theoretical anymore. Here's the scene, and it's specific. You're in a meeting. Your boss says something that would have terrified you 5 years ago, and you realize you're not afraid. Not because you're confident, because you can leave. You have 18 months of expenses in the bank. You can take 6 months off. You can find another job. That knowledge changes everything about how you sit in that chair. But, and this is crucial, nobody at this level talks about this. If you tell your coworker making $65,000 that you had the option to leave and didn't, you've just told them you stayed because you wanted to. They don't want to hear that. So you keep the option quiet. You carry the knowledge alone. Here's the reframe. At this level, financial power is the freedom to say no, but the loneliness of not being able to share why. Level 4, the leverage. $300,000 to $500,000 a year. You've crossed into a different country now. The rules don't just shift. They restructure. Here's the mechanism. You're not just saving money. You're allocating capital. This language matters. You're making decisions about where money goes to create more money. You can buy an investment property. You can negotiate a $5,000 reduction in your mortgage rate, which saves you $200,000 over 30 years. Money's job isn't to pay for your life anymore. Money's job is to pay for your life and then make more money. The math is exponential now, not linear. Someone saving $150,000 to $250,000 a year can build a 7-figure net worth in 5 to 7 years. Without doing anything fancy, they're just letting mathematics run. Here's the scene. You're at a dinner party. Someone mentions they're buying a rental property. 3 years ago, this sentence would have seemed foreign, like a different language. Now it's a possibility you're actually considering. You have a conversation about mortgage rates, cap rates, cash-on-cash return. A person making $40,000 a year is at the same dinner party. They're watching this conversation like you're discussing something that requires a passport. But here's what happens that nobody mentions. Your life doesn't actually feel better. You thought it would. You're not happier. You're not more relaxed. You're making decisions about money that are objectively larger in scope. But the felt experience is almost identical to level 2. You still have small anxieties. They're just about bigger numbers now. Here's the reframe. At this level, financial power is the ability to leverage money to make more money. But the inner landscape stays surprisingly familiar. Level 5, the abstraction. 7 figures. $1 million in the bank. $1 million in invested assets. Here's the moment that changes everything. You can no longer spend your own money. Let that sentence sit for a second. You have $1 million. You could spend it. But if you spend it, you lose the compounding. So you don't. You live off the interest. Your investments earn 8 to 10% a year. That's $80,000 to $100,000 in income. Generated from nothing. You earned it while you slept. And the original million is still there. Untouched. Growing. The math is this. $1 million at 8% growth is $80,000 per year. In 10 years, it's $2.1 million. In 20 years, it's $4.6 million. You did nothing. You didn't earn anything else. You just let it sit. Here's the scene. You're looking at your investment statement. The number is $1,150,000. You didn't earn that last $150,000. The market did. Overnight. While you were asleep. You watched the Dow open at 9:30 a.m. You make $800 before you finish your coffee. This is surreal. You're not allowed to feel surreal about it socially, so you don't mention it. You drink your coffee. You go about your day. Inside, you're watching your net worth fluctuate by thousands of dollars per day. But you can't tell anyone that's strange. Because at level 5, you hit a wall that nobody talks about until you're there. You can't mention your financial situation to anyone who isn't also at level 5. Your friends making $120,000 a year can't relate. Your parents, who worked 40 years to build $300,000, don't really want to hear about your idle money earning more per month than they made in a year. It isolates you. Here's the reframe. At this level, financial power is unlimited. But the conversations that used to keep you connected to people just stop working. The turn, the cost. You reach a level of financial power, any of them, and you think the prize is peace. The prize is relief. The prize is freedom from the daily calculus. There is freedom. There is relief. But here's what slips in the back door. A version of yourself tethered to the amount. The higher the level, the more invisible the tether becomes. But it's there. At level 2, you think about level 3. At level 4, you think about level 5. At level 5, you're watching your portfolio fluctuate by 6 figures in a single day, feeling constrained, because you've seen what level 6 looks like, and you want it. And more than that, at every level, there's a cost that the lower levels can't see. At level 1, the cost is exhaustion. At level 4, it's invisibility. At level 5, it's that the friendships that used to hold you up just stop fitting. You can't talk about what your life actually is. You can't share the thing that takes up the most space in your head, the absurdity of your own wealth, with anyone who didn't cross the same line. So you stop trying, and you get quieter. This doesn't get fixed by more money. It gets worse. You check your bank account on a Tuesday morning. The number glows. It's $8,400. You know now that this number is meaningless in isolation. It's not the amount that matters. It's the level. It's the step of the staircase you're standing on. It's which rules apply to your life right now. If you're at level 1 or 2, the discipline you're forced to learn, the way you see money clearly, you're acquiring something. It doesn't feel like acquiring something. It feels like drowning, but you're learning to see. And that seeing is the foundation that makes level 6 actually work. If you're at level 3 or 4, the isolation you're feeling is real. It's not weakness. It's the tax on crossing the line. And it doesn't disappear. You find the 3 or 4 people who also live on your step. You have conversations that nobody else would understand. And that becomes enough. And if you're at level 5, you know what I'm talking about. You know the thing that's missing. And I don't think more money is going to find it. The staircase isn't a ladder to somewhere better. It's a series of different worlds. Each one complete. Each one with its own rules and its own costs. Financial power isn't a destination. It's a coordinate. It tells you which reality you're living in. The real work isn't climbing the staircase. The real work is understanding which step you're on, what it actually costs to be there, and whether the next step is worth what you'll have to leave behind.